Well, millions of people over the age of 50 often wake up exhausted, even before the day begins. But what if the key to finding more energy wasn't found in a bottle or even at the doctor's office? I like that idea. Our next guest here, Dwayne Clark, is going to let us know what you can do for the first 10 minutes each morning. Dwayne, thanks for joining us here, first of all.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
I like this idea. You're a longevity expert. You've worked with a number of assisted homes, assisted living, I should say. And I like the simplicity of a routine, of a 10-minute routine. Let's talk about the first 10 minutes. Why is that so important in the morning?
Well, I'm finding newscasters especially like this since they don't get a lot of sleep. So,
this is true.
So the first 10 minutes, let's talk about what America does normally. Most people in the first 10 minutes before they get out of bed will reach for their phone or their iPad and start scrolling. And then probably they'll go to the bathroom, and then probably they'll have 1 or 2 cups of coffee. All these things are bad in that order. The first few minutes that you wake up, what you should do is realize that your body's been in a hibernated state for 6, 7, 8 hours, and you should do some stretches and some breathing for just like 30 seconds, right? We see a lot of, especially people in their 70s, 80s, that jump out of bed, they'll fall, they'll break a hip, so on. So just doing some ankle twirls and some stretching really is helpful. Also realize what happens to your body when you sleep. Average man will lose about 14 to 18 ounces of water, average woman about 10 to 12 ounces of water, so you're completely dehydrated. So again, before your feet hit the ground out of bed, have a glass of water, maybe 12 ounces, room temperature, by your bedside, and down that. And that will, first of all, detoxify your system of all the bad cells that your body's worked very hard during the night to get rid of, things that give us cancer and heart disease and diabetes and Alzheimer's. It sheds those zombie cells out of your body. But it will also give you more energy. It'll get rid of brain fog. It will even help with weight loss. And then, we have an acronym called SAVERS, which is S stands for silence. It's like meditation. A is for affirmation. One of the things I tell the young people that I've mentors, put 4 or 5 notes of gratitude up on your mirror the night before. So the first thing you see in the morning is things that you're happy about, things that you're grateful for. Then the V is for visualization. So this is like manifesting. What kind of things do you want to happen in your life? Exercise. Exercise doesn't go run a 5K. It just means movement. It could be walking your dog, going out and doing some yoga. The R is for reading. Whatever is going to put positive thoughts into your brain. And the S is for scribing or journaling. Write down some things that you want to accomplish during the day. So really easy things.
Oh, wow. I love it. You've also said that burnout is what ages us fastest. So, oh boy. What do we need to be watching out for there?
There's so many factors that attribute to burnout. One of the things you have to realize is how our body and our systems work. This thing in our head, this brain, is like a data center. Whatever we put into this brain is going to program our body. So if we put negative thoughts into it, our body's going to say, oh, well, that's what you want. If we have these depressing thoughts, our body's going to go, oh, I have low energy. One of the things that we advise people to do is not watch toxic television before you go to bed. I used to be a big crime show guy and so on, and my wife, who was a 40-year trauma nurse, said, do you really want to watch that stuff before you go to bed? Because then you'll dream about it, and it will interrupt your REM sleep and your deep sleep and everything else, and then you'll wake up groggy. She was right. And so, sleep is one of the most important things that are causing burnout, right? We don't get enough sleep. We don't get enough REM sleep. We should be getting at least an hour and 15 minutes of REM, an hour and 15 minutes of deep sleep during the night. And so there's all kinds of tracker devices now that you can look at that. And then the biggest thing is what we're putting into our bodies. And an interesting statistic, in 1900, the average American ate about 22 pounds of sugar. Today, the average American eats about 160 pounds of sugar. So that's going to affect our brain function. I mean, you're eating a full-size human full of sugar, right? It's really ruining us. It can cause depression, mood swings, all those kinds of things, increased weight, but it's ruining our health, our cellular health as well. So those are some of the things that are causing burnout.
So if I wanted to make a change, how does one start?
Yeah. Well, there's some very simple things. I mean, first pick up the book will be filled with all kinds of simple guides. So the ones like I mean, the most popular one is, just drink your water in the morning, right? Just start out hydrated. Get enough sleep. Make sure you're not doing things that jeopardize your sleep. So put in a lot of blue light into your brain before you go to sleep. Exercising right before you go to sleep, drinking alcohol right before you go to sleep. All these things are bad that interrupt. So getting enough sleep is foundational, right? And then you have to look at what I call incoming toxicity. Whether that's I'm on TikTok or I'm on Instagram, I'm watching bad television or whatever it is, get rid of that toxic environment that's polluting your brain and polluting your body. And, it's just some simple things, just movement. Our bodies are meant to move. They're not meant to hibernate constantly. And again, it can be one of the greatest exercise that we see in adults is just gardening, just going out and being in nature. And nature is a huge component for impressing your immune system. I mean, if you go into a Japanese doctor and you say, hey, I'm suffering from anxiety or high blood pressure, whatever, they would literally write you a prescription to go walk in nature twice a week for an hour. And meditation has been around 5,000 years. Blood pressure medicine has been around 70 years. So which do you think has more credibility?
Right. There's definitely something to it. I like quiet time as well. How about for people who have mobility issues or are challenged in that way? Can they move as you suggest? Sure. Can they still do this?
Yeah, I mean, I've worked with 80,000 elderly over the last 40 years, and there's always some kind of mobility you can do. You may not be going into the gym and bench pressing 200 pounds, but, when I travel, I take stretch bands. And, even if you're wheelchair bound, you can attach a stretch band to something and do stretching exercise and tone your muscles just through that simple exercise. And again, stretching in itself is super important for the body because it oxygenates your body. When you stretch, you get more oxygen. And then last is breathing. Just making sure, typically what we do is we breathe into our chest, we don't breathe into our belly. So taking deep cleansing breaths. I'm sure as a broadcaster, they would teach you, take 3 deep breaths before you go on, right? Clear your head, clear your mind, calm your sympathetic nerves down and, relax. And our body needs that relaxation.
I love it. Even when I hear the word breath, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good reminder. Take nice deep breath. All right, so you've worked with thousands of older adults. What would you say is the biggest shift that would benefit the most to have the most vibrant, older version of yourself?
Well, it's an interesting question. I'm glad you asked it because I'm making a documentary right now, and I'm interviewing 100 centenarians, and I just passed number 45, and everybody's like, well, is it their diet? Is their exercise program? Is it genetics? What is it? And it's none of those things. What it is an attitude of perseverance. I mean, the stories that these people have told me about their lives. I mean, people being in internment camps, people being prisoner of war, people being in World War II, being shot down in airplanes. And they have a grit that I find so admirable. And they just, whatever trauma happens to them in life, they almost look at it as a gift. Like, oh, that was a good lesson. I learned something from that. So it's attitudinal more than anything else.
I think that's great advice and words to live by. Got to get some more grit.
More grit.
Just as life as it comes. Yes. All right. Where can people learn more about tips to a midlife makeover, Dwight, in the name of your book again?
Yes. You can find it on Amazon, Miracle Mornings After 50. And, if you want to know more about me, you can go to Dwayne, DWAYNE, the letter, CLARK.com. And it's already made #1. It just launched yesterday on self-help books, and #1 on happiness, and #1 on aging. So it's shooting up the charts here.
Oh, good for you. Congratulations. And thank you for those
so much.
tips. Appreciate your time.